here.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite fighter who has to be cold in that suit's favorite nerd. And today we are looking at the SH Figuarts Street Fighter V Cammy. And she comes with a slew of accessories. She comes with some interesting choices in terms of design and engineering that I'm okay with some of it, I'm not okay with some of it. But we're going to talk about all of that, but let's start with the accessories. So she comes with two different face sculpts. This one is pretty much identical to the other one, is that the eyes are looking off in a different direction. We'll talk about detailings when we get to the figure. And then this one is obviously making the scream face. This happens by just pulling the face straight off of the head with those two tabs. Or, yeah, tabs? Pegs. Pegs is the word I'm looking for. Should have asked my boy Joe about it. Anyway, let's continue. Keeping with the line, she comes with her backdrop here. It doesn't stand very well until these are fleshed out, and I would have preferred her come with a display stand, but this is a thing. It's printed nice. It's like a cardboard stock. It's fine. It just wouldn't have been my preference, but it is well done, aside from it being able to stand, but that will come with time, as you can see. And then she comes with two relaxed / posing hands and then two karate chop hands. You get her kick accessories. That's this piece and this piece. We'll talk about it in a second. You can split these apart. This is like a yellow translucent that goes to white and orange with paint. And there's two tabs here in the front, and they actually tab into the boot. And then once you get one, then you kind of just line up the other. And then you take this, and this just fits in with tension, and it's a matter of finding the key, so to speak. Let's see. There it is. And then you can have her performing her action, so to speak. And in case you were wondering about this in any more detail, it's just pretty much this translucent plastic that's sort of frosted around the corners, around the edges, both interior and exterior. Alright, so let's talk about the figure. We'll take the hat off, and then we'll take the head out so we can get a better idea of the articulation in here. And it looks like to me it's just a ball hinge that swivels at the neck. So not the greatest in terms of SH Figuarts, and also these yellows don't quite match. I've been having some focusing issues with my camera lately, but you see? This is a different shade of yellow than that. Let's see how these are. And that one's off too. That one's way off. I think that this one is actually the closest, but that's the face I definitely don't want, so that's kind of a bummer. These pieces are glued in. It's just one piece is glued in there. The face detailings are great. Eyes are painted, lips are painted, eyebrows, little scar on the cheek. All that is done really well. And then the ponytails are on, I think they're on ball hinges, or maybe just, no? Yeah, they are. They're on ball hinges. You can't get a whole lot out of them, though, but you can get enough, I think, to get a good pose. Also, the hair isn't really sculpted on the back piece. I guess that's because they imagine you to always be wearing the hat. But it does show a little bit of lack of follow-through, in my opinion. Anyway, outside of that, the little symbol on the hat is painted fine, and then the black trim around the hat is also painted fine. No neck articulation, which is kind of a bummer. So it's fairly limited. Not the best. So then we have the sculpt here. You have a double ball peg from the abdomen into the chest, which allows for a great range. That's really well executed. But then you have like an ab crunch, like a Marvel Legends ab crunch, which, I mean, it does the trick, but I mean, the range is great, but I don't know if I like that. I think I would have liked the whole cut through and got, I don't know. It's just not what I'm used to. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's ineffective. It's just, you know, I fear change maybe. I don't know. But you can get a good bit over to the side and stuff. It does create some gas, but overall it's done. This piece here is glued on, it seems, yes, and that is all just sculpted in black, and then the other bit is sculpted in green, it looks like, and then the skin tone is painted on. All right, so the shoulders, we just have a ball peg that comes out to a ball hinge for the shoulder that gets you up to there and then all the way around. You get a little bit across the chest, but the black straps definitely get in the way a bit. Bicep swivel, so that's nice. Double jointed elbow, that works fine. Much better than the knee when we get there. I'm not sure if this swivel's here or not, no, but you do get this swivel at the wrist, and you do get a ball hinge at the wrist, and the ball hinge should rotate around. But mine might be stuck. There is a red glossiness paint-wise to the gauntlets here, at least it appears to be. It could be a glossy plastic. I'm having a hard time telling. Either way, it looks good. And then all the sculpt work is done great here for the armor pads. But there is a little bit of inconsistency here as well between the armor pads and like the round circular gauntlets, which I feel like should all look identical. Like this, that, and that should look identical. And then the inside red should be the same, but a different shade. I don't know. Not a different real shade. Now that's swiveling. There's just some tolerance things here. Okay, and then we had the flesh tones painted onto the hands, which do a pretty good job of matching the body. Not 100%, but pretty good. Articulation is the same for the other. All right, so then we move down to the pelvis. Is that green? Yes. Yes, it is a green piece of plastic, so the skin tone is painted on the sides, butt cheeks. There's a little bit of shading throughout, but it's fairly subtle, but I think it did a pretty good job at doing it. You have T-jointed ball joints for legs. I'm not sure if they rock down. This is a soft plastic here. Either way, great range of motion all the way out to the side for the full Van Damme and the full Monty. And the sculpt stays pretty tight. I mean, this obviously looks a little ridiculous, but for the most part, it stays pretty tight. And then you get a little bit of a thigh swivel at the ball peg. I think it's more than enough, personally. We have this pouch and stuff. This is all glued on. It's not like this piece is glued on. This leg strap, I think, is sculpted in. And it's painted fairly well. And then we had this knee, which is double jointed, but very ugly. Very ugly. Not seamless at all. Moving down, we have her socks that are painted fairly clean, although mine did get outside the lines a bit there, but for the most part, it's done fairly well. And then we have the boots, which are sculpted very nice. We have a ball hinge for the ankle. They get you an ankle tilt up, an ankle tilt down, a toe hinge, and a great rocker. A really well executed rocker. I've been seeing a lot of shortcuts taken with rockers recently on SH Figuarts, and this one really works well, and the boots are sculpted nicely. So yeah, not perfect, but fairly effective across the board. And size comparison wise, there she is with old Chun-Li. Final thoughts wise, there's just some weird choices here. Like the knees are very ugly and very like kind of uncharacteristically ugly for this company. And then I wish there was more articulation in the neck. Like I can't really bring the head up any further because of the neck. And that's my big complaints here. I wish that this kind of worked a little bit better. I mean, it works fine. It'll work for you. But a lot of this stuff, like being held in with tension, it's just not my preferred way of doing business. Like if it latched on somehow, that would have been preferred for me. But that's really my only negatives. The paint is pretty much great. The sculpt is wonderful. The articulation is superb. You know, I don't know. I'm happy with my purchase. I definitely recommend it if you kind of dig the aesthetic. My only issues with this young lady are her knees and her neck, so to speak. The rest of it works fairly well, and I'm kind of excited to see how far they can take this line. Hopefully far enough to at least flesh out a shelf or two. So yeah, I think it looks good. The materials and everything, the price and everything is pretty much what you would expect from SH Figuarts. I'm not a big fan of this stuff in the back, but you know, it's something that they allow for you. I just don't think it really works. Still not sure how I feel about the ab crunch, but I do know that I don't hate it. I think overall everything works fairly well. It's not perfect, but nothing much ever is. For your dollar, this is a pretty good purchase. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.